Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are diving headfirst into the legendary Indiana Jones universe. We're going to unpack exactly how its rich, super dynamic ensemble cast takes historical mysteries and turns them into absolutely unforgettable adventures. So if you love discovering the mechanics behind great storytelling and what really makes a classic piece of cinema tick, well, you're in the exact right place. Let's get right into the structural DNA of this incredible franchise. Okay, close your eyes for just a second. Imagine a world completely filled with ancient temples, hidden treasures, booby traps around literally every corner, and forgotten civilizations just waiting to be unearthed. Pretty thrilling, right? It totally evokes that primal sense of exploration. But, a setting is really just a backdrop. You can have all the golden idols in the world, but without the human element, it kind of falls flat. The real magic, the stuff that breathes actual life and real stakes into this world, is the incredible cast of characters navigating it. It's their reactions, their flaws, and their triumphs that actually keep us coming back.
Section 1. The Fearless Archaeologist. So, we've got to start with the center of it all, right? Indiana Jones himself. And what makes him so fascinating is this core dynamic of his character. By day, he's just this mild-mannered, bespectacled professor teaching archaeology in a quiet, dusty classroom. But by night, or, whenever a mysterious artifact pops up, he transforms. He becomes this fearless explorer, willing to travel across the entire globe to protect history. This duality, it's literally a storytelling masterclass. He isn't some polished spy or an invincible superhero. He's a scholar who gets his hands dirty, takes a punch, and honestly often makes it out by the skin of his teeth. And that makes his victories feel incredibly hard-earned and profoundly human.
And you really can't talk about Indiana Jones without talking about the look, right? That rugged leather jacket, the famous fedora, and of course the bullwhip. Together, they create this instant visual shorthand for adventure. It cements his status as a cinematic icon instantly. It tells you everything you need to know about his rugged practicality before he even opens his mouth. But here's the thing. As capable as he is with that whip, and as smart as he is out in the field, the real secret to the franchise's enduring success is that he absolutely does not do it alone. Let's be honest, a lone hero gets boring pretty quickly. An ensemble? That thrives on friction.
Section 2. Allies in the field.
Now, let's move on to his crucial field companions. These allies bring incredibly specific, complementary strengths to the table, and they're essential for filling in the gaps of his own capabilities. On one hand, you have Marion Ravenwood. She's fiercely independent, incredibly tough, and completely capable of holding her own in a bar fight or a shootout. Then, on the other hand, you have Sallah, his loyal Egyptian friend who offers this profound dependability and bravery. When Indy is out of his depth or just completely overwhelmed, it's Sallah's cheerful courage and deep local knowledge that keeps the mission alive. They act as the perfect balancing weights to our hero's obsessive drive, making sure the story doesn't collapse under Indy's own tunnel vision.
Taking a closer look at Marion, it becomes super clear she is way more than just a damsel in distress. The source material points out that because she shares this really complicated, messy history with Indy, she's actually one of the few people who can constantly challenge his decisions and sort of puncture his ego. She isn't just an action sidekick tagging along for the ride. She provides the story with crucial emotional depth, really grounding Indy when his ambitions or recklessness get the better of him. Her presence forces him to be accountable to someone other than himself.
Section 3. The Ambitious Rival. Of course, every great hero requires a compelling villain to provide that dramatic tension, bringing us to René Belloq. Belloq works so incredibly well narratively because he is, essentially, Indy's shadow self. It's a totally classic storytelling archetype. While Indy's driven by a deep reverence for history and wants to protect these artifacts for museums, Belloq possesses the exact same towering intelligence and ambition, but he uses them purely for personal gain and power. Their rivalry is just electric because Belloq constantly forces Indy to confront the darker, much more selfish side of archaeology. He basically represents exactly what Indy could become if he ever lost his moral compass.
So Belloq brilliantly tests Indy's survival skills and pushes his morality to the absolute breaking point. But that raises a deeper question. Who truly tests his character, his patience, and his emotional boundaries the most? Because, let's face it, it's usually not the villains who get under our skin the worst.
Section 4. Family and scholarly support.
This brings us to the emotional and academic core of the story, starting with the complicated family dynamics in The Last Crusade. The introduction of his father, Professor Henry Jones Sr., adds such a brilliant layer of complication. They share this profound, almost obsessive passion for history, but their actual personalities, they couldn't be more fundamentally at odds. One is a stoic, rigid academic, and the other is a rough-and-tumble rogue. Forcing them to work together on an incredibly dangerous journey is just a fantastic narrative device. Through all the gunfire and collapsing temples, the actual treasure hunt eventually takes a back seat to the emotional journey of a father and son finally coming to understand each other.
We also absolutely cannot forget Marcus Brody, who plays a quietly vital role. While Indy is out in the jungle dodging traps and outrunning giant boulders, Marcus is his permanent anchor to the legitimate academic world. As a highly respected scholar and a deeply trusted university colleague, he provides the vital historical knowledge, the global connections, and the institutional support that makes Indy's wild field excursions possible in the first place. Marcus represents the calm, steady foundation beneath all the loud, chaotic adventures. Without Marcus, Indy is kind of just a grave robber. With Marcus, he's an agent of history.
Section 5, the timeless adventure. Okay, let's pull all of this together to see why this franchise remains such an enduring classic. When you step back and look at the whole picture, the mechanical genius of the storytelling becomes strikingly clear. Each character brings a very specific, vital ingredient to the mix. We get high-stakes courage, sharp intelligence, much-needed humor, fierce ideological rivalry, and genuine human emotion. It's this precise alchemy of character traits that takes what could just be dry archaeological mysteries or generic action sequences and transforms them into unforgettable cinematic adventures. Every single person in the cast is carrying a piece of that emotional load.
As our source material beautifully states, the treasures may be ancient, but the adventure never gets old. And that perfectly captures the enduring magic of the Indiana Jones universe. The ancient temples, the glowing artifacts, and the deadly traps, they're really just the setup. It's the dynamic, crackling chemistry of this ensemble cast, bickering, fighting, saving each other, and growing together, that actually keeps the magic alive, generation after generation.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to ponder. Look back at all the incredible people we've broken down today. Which of these character archetypes would you be in an unforgettable adventure? Would you be the fearless dual-life explorer leading the charge? The profoundly dependable ally holding the line? The brilliant academic anchor making it all possible? Or maybe someone else entirely? Think about your own real-world strengths and ask yourself how you would fit into a legendary journey like this one. Thanks so much for exploring the mechanics of this classic with me today.